Hey everybody. First of all, I want to mention that this coming the weekend of November 15th to 17th, there will be a paranormal weekend event held at the Bala Bay Inn, the haunted Bala Bay Inn in Bala, Ontario, and that's being hosted by the Black Moon Paranormal Society. So on the 16th, I will be there to give a presentation. I think I'll be there about three in the afternoon. I'll be going on something like that. There'll be a number of other guest speakers and other related phenomena with vendors and all that sort of thing. So it'd be great to see some of you show up there, and be nice to meet some of you. So again, that's November 16th. I'll be there at the Bala Bay Inn in Bala, Ontario. So come on down. Aside from that, so I've made a few visits up north, more recently in the last couple months, I guess, roughly about an hour north of Parry Sound area here in Ontario, Canada, and visiting a private property location, which is basically boat access only. And the last visit was really interesting, as we found a really amazing structure, behind the property there that, from my experience, I already knew from the first visit. We had activity, we had Sasquatch presence going on. With that first morning, I got woken up with a very, very clear telepathic, it's like a wah, very, very loud, popped my eyes right open. And when they do this, give these telepathic moments, there's a clarity that comes with it every time. It's so crystal clear. It's undeniable. And this is something that Sasquatch. I've experienced this stuff many times over the years. The first time was back in 2013. They gave me a grunt in my head. I was asleep on the couch when it happened. It shot me to my feet instantly. I remember I was on the phone to Dwayne, like, holy shit, man, like, you wouldn't believe what just happened. A very loud grunt, and it shows their ability of commanding consciousness. This is a huge part of what makes them, and why I speak about their advancement, in comparison to humans. It's their understanding of consciousness. They can show up literally in dreams that are their contact dreams, right? I've talked about this stuff over the years. There was another incident back in 2013. I remember I was asleep, and this has happened numerous times now on locations where the dream is exactly as it is in real time. So there was this second incident that back then where I was asleep on the couch, and I was just like that in this dream state. And an older female was in my peripheral. I could sense her there, and she brought one of the children to me. I've pretty convinced at this point that it was probably Neff's little sister, but the size of a 3-4-year-old, and she was standing in front of me. This was way back then, right? And I remember being conscious in that state where I reached my hand out, and she took my hand, and I felt all her emotions as they were my own. And it was absolutely mind-blowing. And I've told this story before, and I gave my hand a little jerk motion to purposely get a reaction from her, not to scare her. And it was this explosion of her energy and her emotions that went through me. It was like electric. And I just remember, she didn't let go. And then, she was so freaked out, but so excited at the same time. I can almost visualize her still, but it's, that was pretty much a dozen years ago now. But absolutely incredible moment that really showed me how they feel energy. And so there's been other incidents over the years, and the most recent one would be the last visit up north, just north of Parry Sound, like I said, and I was in my tent. I had my tent set up, facing the woods. I'm all surrounded by woods there. And I remember there was a bit of precipitation that night, a little bit, and um, the woods were all had this layer of fog, and it was literally just dead still. It was so still. It was. I always look at the wind speeds when I go up north, right? If it says 5 kilometers an hour, that is really, really still. This said 3 that night. I remember before I left, I checked. It was just absolutely dead still. You could literally hear a pin drop, easily. And I remember waking up in my sleep, but I was not awake. I was still sleeping, and I was exactly as it was in my tent. I had my door, the tent fly on, because I knew there was going to be a bit of precipitation. But I had the door flap rolled up so I could, watch the woods if I woke up, whatever, throughout the night. And I remember I woke up in that state, and it's a very bizarre, lucid feeling. I'm awake, but I'm asleep, but it's exactly as it is. And I'm looking out the tent door. I didn't see anything, but I felt their presence. I knew they were there. I had audio running too. I'm always running audio, right, throughout the night when I'm doing this stuff. And there's enough to show me that, their presence is there. They tend to be very subdued for the most part. And, this family of Sasquatch, I don't know how many there are there, but I would assume family. It always tends to be more than one from my experience. While they showed their presence to me the very first morning, basically, it's still very, very subdued. But there was a few things that have gone on, like the property owner was sitting there in the dark doing a C5 meditation on the deck, and at one point he felt a tug on his pant leg, and then it was his other pant leg, so it was both legs, one after another, just a short space in between, with the timing on that. And that's something Sasquatch would do, right? And I can see how they would do it a second time, just to give confirmation, right? That was something he experienced. But it was afterwards we stumbled across this amazing structure out behind the property. My belief is it was put there more recently for us to find purposely, kind of a confirmation to, we're here. And, we found this, kind of went off trail a little bit, took this kind of side trail. And this is, as I've mentioned before, this is boat access only too, right? There's no reason for this structure to be there. There's this deadfall in the center, and then all this, these tree limbs and dead sticks all basically built up around it. It was, fair size too. It doesn't look as big in the picture, but when I'm standing beside it, I'll show you the film footage of this structure. And there's a bit of green stuff woven in there too, with the dead stuff laying over top, which kind of, to me, lends support to it being more new, right? That it was more of a recent build. So I'll show you that after I'm done talking here. So I just want to mention, like, when you're doing this stuff and you're on location, like I was another time I'm on location by myself in my tent area where I like to visit Neff's family. And I remember I've mentioned this before too. Somebody had told me once about being in their sleeping bag out in the open, and they basically got sat on. That's what it felt like to them, and they reached their arm out and kind of swinging their arm trying to get whatever off. And the same thing happened to me, but I was in my tent, and I was in that dream state. And I'm in my tent in that dream state, and I remember thinking it was a bear sitting on top of me, and I was struggling to get out from underneath, and I pulled myself out finally, and I snapped awake, and I realized that that was, Neff's family messing with me, right? So there's these incidents of these lucid states that I don't know if it's them having something to do with that, if they're, involved in making that happen. Perhaps they're trying to help me along where, trying to make me conscious enough to gain control in that subconscious state. Because it's my belief that the Sasquatch, they have a full control of their subconscious and their conscious state simultaneously 24/7, whereas we as humans, it tends to be, we shut off. It's a switch back and forth when we fall asleep, that sort of thing, right? I believe they have full control all the time of that, and which gives them that greater understanding of consciousness and how it all works. They are advanced in that aspect. I'm sure some humans are much more advanced than others, with regards to that. Some people don't ever remember their dreams, but again, it's just something that happens, and it's not consistent or anything, but it's happened enough times where I'm doing this, where it's on location. Even at home it's happened, where as I mentioned, that was back in 2013, a couple incidents, but it's just something that has happened enough times to make me question, their involvement, if they have something to do with that. And perhaps it's, perhaps they're teaching, and trying to get me to grasp that, where I'm conscious in that state to the point where I can control it, and I work at that. It's, you don't get a lot of opportunities, so when it does happen, and then you finally do wake up, it's, I realize it instant on waking up too. It's like an instant knowing. But so with this stuff comes a lot of really high strangeness, and it's incredible to witness. It's like I've mentioned so many times, Sasquatch are interdimensional. By nature, they have a grasp of this reality, whatever it is, and at a level that is far advanced than we are. So as I mentioned many times, they are the epitome of don't judge a book by its cover. Anyways, I'll show you this awesome structure footage, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome day.
Okay, rolling now.
Okay, cool. This is September 21st, 2024. We come up to, up north of Parry Sound for the weekend, and this is the first structure find that Tyler's ever found, and it's pretty cool. It's got this dead stump, and then all this is placed around it. Nothing is part of this stump. It's all been brought here and placed here. You can see the roots of the stump there. Has nothing to do with any of this. There's been a bit of work put into this, and I've experienced some activity here already, so I know they're here. And I would bet the farm this is done by them. This is the first time this has been seen. So, and we'll go around the other side here just to get another angle. And then just put myself beside it for comparison, and you can see it's quite large, right? A lot of work put into this. So yeah, man, that is awesome. Even it looks like this part of this tree's been pulled in there. There's this fresh green locked in there too, right? That's not that old. This stuff's fresh, right? It's placed over top of this, so This seems to be been done recently. Just getting another angle here from.
That's a good
further
angle.
away.
It looks distinctive and like intentional, right?
Oh, it's an amazing structure, man. It's big. I love it. Fantastic. And you know, this property, there is absolutely no reason for anybody to come here and do that. There's zero benefit.
Whoa!